Jamal Charlo fought this Saturday against Thomas Lamanna, and he looked real good. Looked sharp, strong, and got the stoppage. Is Jamal Charlo back? Let's talk about it, my peoples. Um, he had been out since 2023. That's when he last fought. And we know that he had been dealing with some adversity in his personal life. However, he comes back and puts on a heck of a performance. Now, Lamanna is not, a world champion or anything like that. But, coming off of inactivity like that, 2 years, you would have expected to see some type of ring rust. And that was not the case. Nope. More Charlo looked sharp. You know, that jab was quick, stiff. Kept catching Lamanna, pushing his head back with that jab. Combination punching. Footwork was on point. I like the way that he, kept pressing the action. That, man, listen, the counter punching was on point as well. Body punching. You saw it all. Yesterday, you saw it. On Saturday, you saw it all from Jamal Charlo. Putting hands and feet on Lamanna, who fought back. Thomas Lamanna, I give him credit. Semi, what's the deal? Lamanna, I give him credit for fighting back. The Muslim. What's the deal, my brother? I give Lamanna credit for fighting back. That's my perspective. My brother, this is a boxing channel. This is not politics or about countries or controversial subjects. Boxing, my brother. If you want to talk boxing, I'm here for it. That question, that's not what I'm here for, my guy. But again, Jermall Charlo, I felt like, he did exactly what he was supposed to do. He looked like he had a real good training camp. I love the way that, he used those combinations. Bam, 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 bam. He was landing punches and bunches. And Lamanna fought back. I give him his credit. He didn't even want the fight to be stopped, by the way. Lamanna, remember the doctor went in the ring, advised like, yo, I suggest y'all stop this fight. And I agree with the stoppage, man. Lamanna was taking a beating. He was taking a beating. He was out there getting pummeled. You could see that the guy's outclassed. He's getting beat up. Why are you going to, it's only round number 6 about to start. You're going to let him go out there, keep getting beat up. He's tough enough to where he might just keep going and go the distance. But he's going to take a pummeling throughout that fight. And then what? Guy could end up really hurt, brain damage, and even worse. So I agree with the stoppage. The doctor, he called it right, and the referee, following his instructions, did the right thing. So we got to see now what's next. Jamal Charlo said he's still interested in Caleb Plant. What an upset. Who was expecting Caleb Plant to end up getting beat up? He ended up getting beat up, my peoples. I was calling that fight. And it's crazy because he started off winning. He was winning the early rounds. But then he got hurt. And once he got hurt, he was never the same again. That's it. It's like he had nothing behind his punches. And his legs was not the same either, his footwork. And that's it. Bro started just catching up to him and landing shots. I'm even surprised that was a split decision. I thought they was going to rob Buddy. I was like, oh, man, they're going to do him wrong. I was surprised it was a split decision. I thought it was going to be a unanimous decision. I even did a video saying, oh, this guy won, unanimous decision. I already know that's what's going to happen. And then right after that, they announced a split decision. But Charlo, more Charlo, said that he's still interested in fighting Caleb Plant. So, and you know what? I'm still interested in that fight. I still want to see them fight. You know how it goes in boxing. When somebody loses, they get discredited right away. So I already see people saying, nah, Plant is washed, he's no good, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. You know, that's just the way it is. And my peoples, don't forget to hit that like button, man. Don't play with my emotions like this, man. 0 likes? 0? Damn, am I doing that bad for y'all? So let me know what y'all think. Is Jamal Charlo back? Or do you think that he simply, it was a tune-up fight and he just did what he was supposed to do? Like I said, obviously he was the favorite to win that fight. Did what he was supposed to do. But taking into account that Jamal Charlo has been out for, since 2023, it was a good win for him. It was a good fight. He looked good. Showed that I'm sure he had a real good training camp with the way he looked in the ring. So, salute to Jamal Charlo. Congratulations. And damn, man, I cannot believe that Caleb Plant lost. And the way that he lost. It's a good fight, man. He fought back. That's the thing about Caleb. He got heart. You could see that he was taking some big shots, kept fighting, always let his hands go. That's the way he is. Caleb Plant, he'll go down on his shield or fight and win. At some point, I just started to feel like he wasn't going to be able to turn it around. Because when they got to the championship rounds, I was like, oh my God, for him to win this fight, he's going to have to win these rounds. And you could see that Lamanna was just outworking him. Like I said, it just doesn't seem like Caleb Plant recovered after being hurt. Seems like throughout the entire fight, he was never back to being that fighter that you saw in the first couple of rounds. He was using that jab effectively, using that forward, moving around, counter punching. And then he got hurt. Boom! You saw his legs got buckled. He was never the same. If you was watching that fight, when he got buckled, right after that, homeboy landed 2 big shots. Yo, can anybody tell me the name of the guy who beat Caleb Plant? I can't remember his name off the top of my head. If anybody can tell me what's his name, the guy who beat Caleb Plant. When he buckled him, right after that, he landed 2 big shots, a left hook and a right hook. Boom, boom. To his head, to Caleb's head. Bang, bang. Hard shots. And then Caleb backed away. And after that moment, Caleb Plant was never the same. That's it. He started being outworked. He started eating a lot of shots, landing less and less, letting his hands go a lot less. And that's it. You saw the results. Homeboy beat him. So, but there's that possibility that, hey, got this cat over, hey. So, what's next? Well, we got some good fights coming up, my people. Some real good fights coming up. 2025 has been a great year for boxing. Yo, bro. Yo, you don't see me doing the show? Look at this dude, my peoples. You see what I'm saying? Hey. Stop. Yo, you see me talking boxing over here, man? Stop. So, my peoples, my bad, yo, I'm over here arguing with my cat and shit. Hey, what's up? Appreciate you dropping in. Don't forget to hit the like button, my peoples. Don't forget to subscribe. We talking boxing, man. is s, 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 mish, mish, s, wait, mish, s. Oh shit, fucking cat my peoples. Hold on 1 second, man. S, trying to do a live over here and I'm arguing with my cat and shit, man. Golly. But I digress. So my peoples, we got some, like I was saying, we got some good fights coming up. Been a good year for boxing, man. Been a real good year. Um, Super excited about the Tszyu versus Sebastian Fundora rematch. Did you see the first fight? Tszyu, after losing to Fundora, he lost again. So y'all know how it goes in boxing. People are like, oh, he's a hype job. He's not all that. He's done. That's the way it goes when fighters lose. But I will say, Tszyu is a top level fighter, and I believe that he will be a champion again. I don't know in what division. I don't know when, but I believe that he'll be a champion again. You know, that's how much. Oh shit. That's how much I believe in Tszyu. You know, Jamie Giblin, Tszyu sucks. I respect your opinion, my brother. I respect that. If that's how you feel about it, I feel like Tszyu will become a champion. You know, the guy, he can fight. He can fight. His style of boxing, you know, is also fun to watch. To me, he's almost a carbon copy of his father. You know, if you watch Costa Tszyu, the only thing is Costa Tszyu was faster than his son, but still, the style is very similar. And I would say, well, Tszyu is short. He's short. I wouldn't say small. You know, Tszyu, you know, he has a wide frame too. He's just not a tall guy. But he can fight, my brother. He can fight. And if you watch Tszyu versus Sebastian Fundora, did you watch it? Before Tim got cut, he was winning that fight. Did you let me know if you watched it? He's good, but not world class. Yeah, he's definitely world class. I'm trying to tell you. Tszyu is world class, bro. If you watch that first fight, he was beating Sebastian Fundora. Then he got cut, and it all went downhill from there. If you're beating Sebastian Fundora, he was beating him. You know, it's not like Lubin when he became the first guy, you know, the only guy to beat Fundora. With Lubin, was it Lubin who beat Fundora? I think it was. But the first guy to beat Fundora was losing the fight, was getting beat up. Oh, no, it wasn't Lubin. It was the Spanish guy. My bad. It wasn't no Lubin. Fundora beat the crap out of Lubin. It was the Spanish guy. The guy, Fundora's beating him up. And then the guy heard him. Boom! And right there, boom, boom, caught him with a few shots and dropped him. And you know, it played out the way that it did. But this is different. Tszyu was beating Fundora before he got cut. Although he got cut early. I got to admit to that. You know, he got cut early into the fight. But he was putting hands on Fundora. Jimmy Gibley, I watched. But did you watch the fight that he got knocked out in? Yeah, that's what I was talking about. The fight where Fundora got stopped, he was winning it. He was pummeling Buddy. And then he got caught with a big shot. Boom, got stunned and got caught with a couple more. And that's the way the cookie crumbles when you get hurt sometimes. But, come on now, yo. That's why I'm saying, when he got stopped by a guy that caught him with a big shot. But he was beating that guy up. He was winning that fight. And then he just got caught with that shot. versus Tszyu. Timmy was putting hands on him before he got that cut, which was by an elbow, by the way. Look, let me tell you like this, my brother, before I read that comment. That fight, when Tszyu took that elbow, it was early. And what would have been the right thing to do was stop it and call it a no contest due to an accidental cut. That's what was supposed to happen. They allowed that fight to continue with this man having blood gushing all in his face. That was nasty work. Jamie Giblin. Oh, no. Wait. West. Shout out, brother. Hope you're doing good. Appreciate it, West. Appreciate you dropping in and the good wishes as well. Salute. Jamie Giblin. No, the other fight that Tim lost. Oh, okay. The Russian guy. He lost to, who was he? Background. Yo, that guy, he can fight. That Russian guy, Background, that he stopped Timmy, he's one of them dudes, one of them European dudes who had an extensive ass amateur career, who won at an international level and everything, turned pro a little bit late. So outside of Europe, people don't even know him like that. But he a killer. He a killer, bro. You saw it. Put the bites on Timmy. But to be fair, Tszyu underestimated him. You know, this European guy, he ain't fight nobody. He ain't been on the big stage. Nah, buddy, a killer. We're gonna be hearing more from him. Background, he don't play that. He don't play that. I'm already hearing that guys don't want to fight him. Anthony Robertson. Now you smart. I mean, I think I always been smart. How you figure that I'm smart now? Jamie Giblin. Yeah, he did. Joseph Parker, the man. Oh, man. Yo, Joseph Parker right now, he's hot. He's hot right now. Let's see, you know, where's he going from here? Where is he going? But I would say, man, Itauma, my brother right there, he's showing promise. He's showing promise. I'm Kiwi, he's my man. Yo, he's showing promise, my brother. And I love something that Frank Warren said about him. He said that if they wanted to, they could have pursued the title shot for him. And they chose to keep going with that development process. You know, and I think that's a great idea. Itauma got some devastating knockout power. And he has an exciting style. He's the type of fighter who he'll bring in the fans. He could become a superstar. But they got to be smart, you know, about that process of developing him. Don't just throw him out there right away against the Lions because, oh, he looks good, so fuck it. Nah. Frank Warren being very smart about him. And let's see how far they can take it. I believe he has the assets, physical and technical, to become a world champion. The guy can fight. Giblin, Jamie Giblin, DDD Duck. Who are you talking about? Who are you referencing, my brother? Because you're not talking about boots, right? Because that's one thing, since you say duck, people talking about, you know, Jerome Boots Ennis. Did he duck Teofimo Lopez? Did he not? Oh, Daniel Dubois? So what do you think about Boots? Did he duck Teofimo Lopez? Yep, you think so? Damn, I wanted to see that fight, man. I really thought it was going to happen. The moment I heard that they were talking, I was like, okay, this fight is going down. But no, Boots surprised me. I thought he was gonna take it. And you know what's funny about that? So many people on social media and even on my live were saying, yo, Boots is gonna destroy him. Boots gonna kill him. Watch. And Boots is the one who turned down the fight. I guess they didn't expect that to happen. People telling me, yo, Teofimo only doing that because he capping. He don't want that. He don't want that. When Boots tell him let's fight, he gonna say no. Boots turned it down. Crazy. Jamie Giblin, AJ's a robot. I mean, he's kind of stiff. He is kind of, stiff in his movements, but he's still a world-class fighter. I want to say he just, he got his style where he's kind of stiff, but he's a world-class fighter. You gotta look at, his amateur pedigree, and then what he's able to achieve as a professional. Usyk, best boxer in the world. Now, I got Terrence Buck Crawford as the best boxer in the world. But, let me say this. Buck Crawford, Usyk, Naoya Inoue. Those are my top three, right? Anywhere you move those three around, I'm cool with it. Anywhere you want to place them. So if you want to tell me Usyk is number one, Inoue number two, Crawford number three, I respect that. If you put Usyk at number one, Inoue or Bud at number three, I got Crawford at number one. Jai is up there. Jai will be number one. Jai Opataya, he can fight. He a monster. He's going to fight soon. Oh, next week. Jai Opataya is going to fight next week. But I got to tell you, man, he can fight. I love his style of boxing. Real aggressive. Bad intention behind them punches. But he still, hasn't fought, high level competition. So we gotta wait till he gets to that point and has success up there. Anthony Robertson, Teo Lopez was trying to get attention. I get it. But Boots, no Teo. I mean, as far as the fight, my brother, he was trying to make that fight happen. He was absolutely trying to make the fight happen. They sent Boots an offer, my brother. And trust me, you don't, write stuff down and put stuff together to just joke around. It wasn't that. He was trying to make that fight happen, and Boots turned it down. So, it's up to us to determine, is he ducking? What is the reason? We'll have our own opinion about it. Boots doesn't feel like he needs to fight. At least that's what he said. Jamie, he's the man. Maker. What's good, Jay Smith? What about Bam? What's good, my brother Maker? Man, listen, Bam is a special fighter. He's a generational. I will say this, and I've said this before. Bam is the only fighter that I see with a possibility of beating Naoya Inoue, the monster. I don't see nobody else in and around that division messing with the monster. That's how good Bam is. Jamie Giblin. Manny. Who's going to win? You're talking about Manny Pacquiao, Mario Barrios? I'm going to say this, man. Mario Barrios is obviously going to be the favorite. Manny Pacquiao is 46, 47 years old, something like that. So, but I want to say this. Pac-Man is someone that I'm not willing to write him off. Tell you that. He's out there trying to make history, and he has made history before. When he was going to fight Keith Thurman, I wrote him off. I was like, nah, man. Keith Thurman is going to beat him up. Keith Thurman might even stop him. And look what happened. He put hands and feet on Keith Thurman. So, I don't put it past Pac-Man to win this fight. I got people telling me, nah, he looked real bad in the exhibition that he did the other day. Bro, that's an exhibition. He didn't do a full training camp. He didn't take it serious. This is not, the Manny Pacquiao that you're going to see in the ring versus Barrios, it's not the same that you saw in the exhibition. It's not the same that you saw shadowing the other day. It's going to be a Manny Pacquiao who's been in a full training camp. So I guarantee you, he's going to look good. I'm not willing to make a prediction right now, but he's going to look good. I promise you that. Jamie Giblin, he still move like he's 30. That's what I'm saying. Manny Pacquiao, he still got that hand speed, that foot movement, that footwork. Yo, the ring IQ is still going to be there. His faculty, I think he's going to be, maybe a little bit slower. But still, he's gonna be fast. And he's going to be strong. The only thing I'm concerned about with Pacquiao at his age is punch resistance. Is he gonna be able to handle? Because Barrios got popped. You know what I'm saying? So I'm wondering, is he gonna be able to handle it when he get hit? We're gonna find out. Anthony Robertson, Pac style is difficult. You can lose. The way that he moves and goes forward throwing punches in bunches, which that's the way that he dropped Keith Thurman, by the way. Pacquiao's still going to be a dangerous fighter. He's still going to be somebody that's there to compete. Some people think that he's just going to get his ass whooped. You think an all-time great, a legend, is there to just get his ass whooped? Now, we all know that Father Time is undefeated. We're going to find out, is Manny Pacquiao going to be able to win again and beat the odds like he did with Keith Thurman? It's going to be crazy. If Manny Pacquiao wins and makes history once again, it's going to be crazy. Make a Pac look crazy versus Ugas, though, no? I mean, but you got to understand, too, styles make fights. Styles make fights. And Ugas beat him. But let's see now when he goes up against Barrios. But again, we got to keep in mind, Manny Pacquiao being 46 years old, he's going to be the underdog. So he's going to step in the ring as the guy who's supposed to lose. Can he beat the odds? We're going to find out. Matty Garcia, how you like Moses from heavyweight? Moses? Tell me the full name, my brother. Tell me his full name. I tell you what, right now the heavyweight division is, it's up for grabs. It's up for grabs because if you look at all the champions, they're all in their late 30s or 40s. They're old. Or not the champions, just even the top guys, the guys that are up there, the big dogs. They're older already. So the new guys coming up, the young stars, they're the ones that are going to take over. Anthony Robertson, Mario Barrios is a big, strong champion. Yeah. Mario Barrios is big. He's gonna look big in front of Pacquiao. He's a big kid. So in front of Pacquiao, he's gonna have the height and reach advantage. He's gonna be up to Manny Pacquiao to be able to get on the inside to get his work done. But Mario Barrios can fight. There's a reason why he's a champion. He's a legitimate champion. Now, can Manny Pacquiao shake up the world? We're going to find out. We're going to find out. Matty Garcia, Moses Itauma. Oh, bro, we was just talking about him. Itauma's for real, bro. He's for real. Aggressive style. Has just bad intentions behind every punch. He goes hard to the body. And he can just knock you out. He's one of those fighters who got that one-punch knockout power. He can just obliterate you. I enjoy watching him. He has a style of boxing. I'm not gonna say he's like Tank Davis because he's a heavyweight, but he has a style of boxing, a certain level of aggressiveness that you just enjoy watching him. You will enjoy like whoa. So I like the way that they're developing him, and I think that he has what it takes to become a world champion. Matty Garcia, I want to see Itauma versus Torres Jr. I mean, that's something that I think is gonna be the inevitable. I think that Torres Jr. versus Itauma is a fight that is brewing, and that behind the scenes they already mentioned it. Like yo, you guys are gonna end up facing each other. It's the inevitable because he's gonna keep winning. You're gonna keep winning. It's a matter of who's gonna become a world champion first, and who's gonna challenge who. Or I could even see that as a unification fight. I could see that happen. Them fighting each other to unify titles. But Torres Jr., Itauma, they're both young. They're both early in their career. So I think it's going to take some time before we see them go up against each other. Just because the type of talent that they are, I don't think they're going to match them up this early in their career. So that's a fight that we can look forward to. And very hard to predict. I mean, right now I have to say Itauma, Torres Jr., that's a 50-50 fight right now. Yeah, man. I got to say it's a 50-50 fight. Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda, my peoples. That's coming up. Keyshawn Davis versus Edwin De Los Santos. That's coming up. I had somebody telling me the other day, oh, De Los Santos, he's going to beat Keyshawn Davis. He's faster. He's stronger. Listen, man. De Los Santos is my guy. I enjoy watching him fight. He's not going to beat Keyshawn Davis. There's that. I got to be honest with you, my people. I got to tell you what it is. It's not going to happen. In boxing, there's levels, my people. It's levels to this. And Keyshawn Davis is levels above Edwin De Los Santos. If you don't understand that, you will when they fight each other. And De Los Santos can fight. That's why I'm not the type of person who is going to give credit to this guy and discredit this guy, disrespect this guy. Nah, I don't do that. You can give credit to both fighters. De Los Santos can fight. Top level guy. Quick. Hand speed, footwork, defense. He got tools in the bag. But Keyshawn Davis is simply a better fighter. Matty Garcia, Keyshawn, a different breed. And then, since he been working with Bomac, you even see flashes of Terrence Crawford and Keyshawn Davis on the inside. You see it. Some of the counter punches, identical. The way he maneuvers his opponent on the inside to gain position on him. Just like Crawford. Maker, you think Abdullah Mason can hang in there with Keyshawn or Shakur? I don't think so yet. So, I'm going to tell you this right now, my brother. Abdullah Mason, he is a special fighter. He is special talent. I believe that he's going to go on to accomplish big things in the sport of boxing. Can he beat Shakur Stevenson or Keyshawn Davis right now? If I'm pressed to answer that question, I would say no. I would say no if I'm pressed to answer that question. Right now, I have to say no. So I'm guessing that question may come from the fact that Abdullah Mason is being reported that he's going to be mandated to fight Keyshawn Davis for his title. Right? So if Keyshawn Davis wins, Abdullah Mason is going to become his mandatory. And Abdullah has already stated that he wants that fight, that he's going for it, that he's going after the businessman. So it looks like that fight may actually happen later this year. I do not see Keyshawn Davis vacating a title to Abdullah Mason. I just don't see it. I don't see it. So to me, this fight is gonna happen. I just now Abdullah Mason is a special talent. That's the thing. Abdullah is a special talent, but Keyshawn is a special talent. The difference though is that Keyshawn is a special talent who's more advanced in his career, who's more seasoned, who's had, more looks inside the ring with better opponents. Abdullah Mason, being as young as he is, he's faced, lower level opponents. He hasn't, Keyshawn Davis is going to be a huge step up for him. But he's not going to be a huge step up for Keyshawn Davis. He's a special fighter, but a special fighter who's very young in his career. So that's why I think that Keyshawn Davis is going to win that fight. If it does happen. Maker, you think Abdullah Mason... Oh, okay, now. Matty Garcia, Abdullah Mason versus Emilio Vargas would be a banger. That's a heck of a fight. That's a heck of a fight. I think we are going to get that one, but it's going to take some time. That one, it could even be one of those that it's a pay-per-view event, 5 years down the line, 6 years down the line. A monster fight with both of them being champions, that kind of thing. Maker, I've never seen Keyshawn get dropped or even rattled, but I think Mason been dropped, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Mason was actually dropped a couple of times in the same fight, in the same round, as a matter of fact, in the same round. He's only been dropped in that one fight. I think it was in round number 1 that he got dropped twice by dude. But then he ended up stopping him in round number 2. Or maybe he got dropped in round number 2 and stopped him in round number 3. I can't remember. But it was early in the fight. Got dropped, got up, did what he had to do. Let's see, man. Let's see. Keyshawn Davis versus Abdullah Mason. I think that's a huge step for Abdullah, who just turned. I think Abdullah Mason just turned 21 years old. He just turned 21 years old, like a month ago or something like that. So I think, that's a big step up. But if he believes he's ready, his team believes he's ready, do what y'all got to do. Do what y'all got to do. If y'all believe that he's ready for that type of fight to, fight for a title at 21 years old, go for it. I do believe that Abdullah Mason is a special talent. I just don't think at 21 years old he's ready for Keyshawn Davis or Shakur Stevenson. But that's my perception. They're there personally working with him. They'll decide. Maker, who do you got as the best at 135 and 140? I mean, the best at 135, Shakur Stevenson. Black Jericho, salute, my brother. Good day to you as well. The best at 135, I gotta say, is Shakur Stevenson. The best at 140, I think it's interesting because these guys, technically, that's it. They're out of it. Teofimo Lopez, we got to, I think, start categorizing him as a welterweight. Brian Norman Jr. is at 147, though, my brother. I like him, too, though. I like Brian Norman Jr. I think Richardson Hitchens, bro, might actually be the best 140-pounder right now. I think it might be Richardson Hitchens, bro. Brian Norman Jr., I really like him. I hope that they could make Jermall Boots Ennis versus Brian Norman Jr. That's a fight that we need. It almost happened. They was like $300,000 away from making that fight happen, baby. Something like that. But let's see. Let's see. I know that Jermall Boots Ennis wants that fight, wants to unify titles because obviously the ultimate goal is to become undisputed at the welterweight division. Hopefully politics doesn't get in the way of it. But money seems to be a problem. Now, Brian Norman Jr. is going to fight next in a couple of weeks, I think. I know it's this month. I don't know the exact date. If you guys could tell me, if you could Google what date Brian Norman Jr. is fighting. And after he wins that fight, if he defends his title, obviously successfully, they want to fight Boots. Hopefully they can make that fight happen. Listen, my peoples, I personally spoke with Brian Norman Sr. and he told me, yo, we want to fight Boots. That's the fight that we want. They don't want to fight us. We want to make it happen. Let's get it. Let's get it. Matty Garcia, Santillán, what's a good KO? What it do, Jay Smith? Oh, what's the deal, Derek? What's the deal, my brother? You already know, man. Talking boxing. You know that Jamal Charlo fight. Is he back, or was it, what he's supposed to do because he fought a lower level opponent? Although he is coming back off of 2 years of inactivity. And I felt like Jamal Charlo looked super sharp. Looked real good. Black Jericho. Norman has a lot of game from fighting Boots. That's a good fight. Yo, that's a good fight. I've been trying to tell people who suggested that Boots is just going to wash him. He's just going to beat him up. Yo, Brian Norman Jr. is the truth. It ain't like that. Ain't nobody watching him. So, I think that Brian Norman Jr. versus Boots is a very competitive fight. And it's going to be 3 belts up for grabs. Come on now. I believe they... And I tell you what. With Jermall Boots Ennis turning Teofimo Lopez down, I think there is pressure for him to have a big fight. Because, if you turn Teo down and you go fight some European guy that we never heard of, another Karen, people going to be disappointed. Like, damn, you could have been in the ring with Teofimo Lopez and you fighting this dude that we never heard of. So I think there is pressure to either fight Brian Norman Jr. or someone with a name. Maybe Keith Thurman. And I'm gonna tell you what, man. Right now, a lot of people want to fight Boots simply because he's holding 2 titles. He's a lot more famous now. His stock is up. So, whether it's Keith Thurman, Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, they declined him. Blair, the Flair Cobbs. Even Conor Benn. A lot of people have expressed interest in wanting to fight Boots. So I believe that, there's a certain level of pressure to have Boots finally get in there with a big name. Because that's the only knock on him right now. Boots got 30-something wins, but he doesn't have a marquee win in his resume. A big name that you can say, oh, he beat this guy, he beat that guy. He doesn't have that yet. That's why sometimes people ask, oh, who he beat? Who he beat? Who he beat? That's the magic question. Derek, Charlo did his thing. I want to see him fight Pacheco. Listen, more Charlo looked real good, looked sharp, did his thing like he was supposed to. He expressed interest in still wanting to fight Caleb Plant. We might actually get that fight. Jay Jones, Good morning. Let's get it. Thurman will bring action. That's what I'm saying, my brother. That's why I'd like to see Keith Thurman versus Jermall Boots Ennis. That would be an action-packed fight. That would be action-packed. And we already saw Keith had a tune-up. He looked good. Looked sharp. Stopped his opponent brutally. So, Keith Thurman versus Jermall Boots Ennis, I'm all in on that fight, my brother. Maker. Some people ask, how is Caleb Plant known for fading after 5-6 rounds, but that guy stays in the gym? I mean, I don't know, bro. I think sometimes I think it's bad luck. Sometimes I think, nah, my brother, are you high? I'm not high, my brother. I went to sleep mad late. Slept like 2 hours. But no, I'm not high. So when it comes to Caleb Plant, sometimes I think you get a reputation by bad luck. Here's what I mean by that. He just got caught with a monster shot. If you saw in this fight, he got caught with a big shot. And then after he caught that, he caught 2 more. Boom, boom. Both to the head, flush. After that moment, he was never the same. So it's not really that he faded. It's more, I would say that he never recovered from those shots that he took. Derek, Plant Resendiz 2. It's an undercard will be good too. I mean, I don't know if Plant want to get that rematch. I don't even know if Plant want to get... I mean, if he's not, if the possibility of fighting Jamal Charlo is not there, go ahead and try to get that rematch. But if he could fight Jamal Charlo, that's a bigger fight. That's more money. I think that's going to be the go-to. That's my perception. Derek, thing is, Plant, Charlo will be pay-per-view. Ain't trying to buy that with Caleb coming off a loss. That's a good point. That's a good point, my brother. Derek, think he can beat Resendiz. Just needs to make the adjustments. I mean, if you think about it, before he got clipped with that big shot, he was winning the fight. He was winning the fight. If you look at the first 4 or 5 rounds, he was putting hands on Resendiz, outboxing him, counter-punching him, making him miss, making him pay. But once he got clipped, it was a wrap. So between them two, Caleb Plant is definitely the better boxer. But, that's the thing. If a puncher catches you with a big shot, it's hard to recover to that state where you were originally before eating that shot. Caleb Plant was never the same. Matty Garcia, when is Benavidez fighting again? I'm not sure. I don't think he got a dance partner right now. You probably know that he was the mandatory for Dimitri Bivol. And Bivol vacated the title so that he can do the trilogy with Artur Beterbiev. So that's the way the cookie crumbles. So right now, Benavidez, I think I don't know who he's gonna fight for the vacant title that Bivol dropped. Maker, in a rematch, Resendiz will finish him. His confidence went way up after this fight. Nah, I don't think so. I think Caleb Plant wins the rematch, to be honest. Simply because he's going to have a lot more respect for Resendiz's power. And look, I was calling that fight live, and I was telling people, like, yo, Resendiz is clearly the harder puncher of the two. So Caleb Plant was outboxing him, but Resendiz was landing the hardest shots. Derek, yeah, Resendiz's inside game was on point too. Good for boxing overall, though. Another fighter in the mix. Hell yeah. That's great for boxing. A few days ago, we didn't even know Resendiz. We seen him in a little highlight here and there. Never even seen him in a full fight. Most of us, at least. I never seen him in a full fight. And look, now we know him, and we got respect for him based on that performance. Maker, Resendiz looked untouched. Matty Garcia. I don't like that next fight for Crawford versus Canelo. But, I mean, I don't know why you would have liked that, man. Crawford versus Canelo, that's a dream matchup. That is a dream matchup, my brother. Drizzy Goat. Bud beats Canelo. I'm going to have to agree with you, my brother. I got Terrence Bud Crawford beating Canelo by unanimous decision. Black Jericho. Resendiz beat Plant with fundamentals. I think I agree with you. He beat him with fundamentals, but Caleb Plant's fundamentals were affected after he got hurt. So I think had he not landed that big shot and staggered them, Caleb Plant would have beat him on the scorecards. Drizzy Goat, Bud stops him later rounds. Now I don't see that, my brother. I'm gonna be honest. I see the fight going the distance just because, Canelo's been in there with some hard punchers, and he's never even been wobbled. He's never even been stunned in his whole career. He ate some monster shots from Triple G, flush, and ate them things like double-decker tacos. So I don't see Canelo getting stopped. It can happen. Listen, anybody in the sport of boxing can be stopped. If you get hit with the right punch at the right time, you could get stopped. Will it happen? I don't see it happening, my brother. I see the fight going the distance. Maker, is Bud faster than Canelo? Yes. Crawford is faster than Canelo. And he has the better footwork by a landslide. Matty Garcia, I am putting up a draw for Canelo versus Crawford Bud fight. A draw? Okay, fair enough. I mean, that's a possibility. And look, we're talking about two great fighters, two pound-for-pound fighters, two fighters who both been undisputed. Yo, that's a great fight. Even though Crawford is moving up 2 divisions, the size difference is not as much as people think it is. You always have to take into account that Canelo is a very small 168 pounder. He's not a big guy, my people. He's a small fighter. If you look at all his opponents at 168, they all bigger than him. They all are. So at the end of the day, you have to take that into consideration. He's a small dude. If you saw when Crawford and Canelo faced off after Canelo beat Score in his last fight, did Canelo look huge in front of Crawford? Did Crawford look like a dwarf in front of the giant? No. They look about Crawford even look a little bit bigger. Maker, wait. Why want Caleb using his right hand at all? I don't know. I mean, he was using it. It's not that he wasn't using it at all. I think after he got hurt, he just got a little bit more defensive. He maybe got a little bit gunshot, but he was using it. Derek, Ayo thought Cornflake would look better, though. I did too. But, look, styles make fights, my brother. Sometimes we have to just accept it. Every fighter who looks good in the ring doesn't look good in every single fight. There's fights that they're not gonna, because styles make fights. You're facing an opponent who does certain things. Maybe the opponent is awkward. Maybe the opponent, fights a certain way that affects what you're doing, and that happens. Drizzy Goat, Bivol versus Benavidez, the fight to make. I wanted that fight, man. I don't know, man. I'm not happy with His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh for not allowing it to happen. Because at the end of the day, Bivol versus Benavidez would have been for undisputed. It would have been for all the marbles. Now, Bivol vacated a belt, and he's going to fight Beterbiev for only 3 belts. I mean, maybe the Turkey belt is going to be on the line. I don't know, because talks about that league have kind of quieted down. They haven't been talking about it. I don't know what's going on with that. Drizzy Goat, Tank KO's Roach in the rematch. I don't see that happening at all, my brother. At all. I just cannot see it. Now, Tank is a special fighter. So, if it happens, hey, Tank is a special fighter. But I don't see it happening. Here's why. We watched Tank Davis and Lamar Roach for 12 rounds. Not once did Tank Davis hurt Lamar Roach. Not once did it look like Lamar Roach was fighting to survive. Or Tank was, beating him up. Drizzy Goat, Tank had a night off. Nah, my brother. You're making that up like literally out of thin air. Oh, he had a night off. He didn't have a night off. Lamar Roach gave him problems. When you see that's the problem with that point of view, Drizzy Goat. When you say Tank had a night off, it's like you don't want to give Roach his flowers for what he was doing. He had Tank Davis acting out of character, bro. Lamar Roach, you give him his flowers, bro. The guy can fight. Lamar Roach is a cherry pick gone wrong. That's what he is. Cherry pick gone wrong. Brought him up from the 130 division, expecting to knock him out. And it didn't play out like that. Imada, good morning, brother. I still think we're going to get Plant versus Charlo. Just not this year. It lost its spark. I think we could still, there's a possibility we could still get that next. There's a possibility we could still get that next, bro. And I'm only saying this because after the fight, Charlo said that, he's still interested in that fight. He's still interested, so let's see. And to be honest, I'm still interested in it too. I'm an old school boxing fan, so I don't think a guy losing means that he's done. Derek, yeah, I agree, but Crawford was in his walk-around weight and Canelo was in fight weight. Bud might look smaller the night of. Yo, I'm telling you, Crawford is not going to look smaller, my brother. Yo, Crawford, the other day, like a month or two ago, he was weighing 185. So, a lot of people think that Crawford is going to have to gain a bunch of weight to get to 168. And it's actually not going to be that. Crawford's going to be in the 180s. Right now, he's in the 180s. When he goes into training camp, he's going to be in the 180s and he's going to cut down to 168. He's going to be big too. He's not, I'm telling you, my brother, remember that I told you this. Crawford is not going to look small. You're going to see that. Hopefully you remember that I told you this. When they face off, and I'm talking about before training camp, not when the pressers kick off. I'm talking about the day before the fight for the weigh-in. When they face off each other, you're going to see that Canelo's not going to look bigger than Crawford. You're going to see it. It's going to be like, oh, shit, damn. What happened? Isn't he supposed to be the big guy? It's not even going to look like that. Derek Goat, Roach trash. Oh, come on, man. A trash fighter took Tank Davis the distance, and Tank Davis got a gifted draw off of a fighter who's trash. Damn, if he's trash, then you're saying Tank is trash too? Because a guy who's trash, you're supposed to beat him up. Trash? A guy who's trash, you're supposed to beat him up on your night off? If he's trash? A guy who's trash? Put all type of hands on Tank Davis? Come on, bro. Don't do that. Don't do that, bro. Derek. Nah, Roach is a solid fighter, my guy. Drizzy Goat. Tank get it back by KO. You will see. Okay? We shall see. But don't disrespect Lamar Roach like that, bro. Come on now. Lamar Roach is an elite level fighter. There's a reason why he's a champion at the 130 division. Moved up I understand that he's a cherry pick gone wrong and you thought he was going to get knocked out. I thought he was going to get knocked out. I predicted that Tank Davis was going to knock out Lamar Roach by the 9th round or before that. I was like, Tank is going to knock him out. But you saw that. Lamar Roach, my peoples, had Tank Davis acting out of character. Had him, taking a knee, lying about greasing his eyes, turning his back on the fighter, turning his back on the ref, going to his corner asking for help, getting his face wiped while the clock is ticking. What are we doing here, my peoples? Tank Davis was out of order, out of character, and it was because of Lamar Roach. We got to keep it 100, my peoples. Lamar Roach did to Tank Davis what nobody else has ever done. And by the way, this is why Drizzy GOAT, I don't think Tank Davis is going to be able to knock him out. Lamar Roach didn't go the distance with Tank Davis by running around and trying to survive. Tank Davis wasn't chasing him around the ring the whole fight. No. Lamar Roach was actually walking Tank Davis down for 12 rounds. Whenever Tank Davis stood his ground, Lamar Roach stood there and traded shots with him. That shit was crazy. We never seen that. The only fighter who we seen go toe-to-toe with Tank Davis like that was Pitbull Cruz. And you saw that was a close fight. That was a competitive fight. But then Tank Davis, and I think that caught Tank by surprise. You know why? Because I seen an interview before the fight where Tank Davis was saying, I already know what he's going to do. He's going to, move around a lot, run around a lot, try to frustrate me, make me chase him, but we got a game plan for him. They thought that Lamar Roach was going to be running around. And they got the version of Lamar that brought it to Tank, to his face. Lamar Roach was trying to make that whole fight inside of a phone booth, my peoples. Imada, that Tankamaniacs are out today. Early, hombre. Tankamaniacs be on it. Derek, dude is discrediting Tank by calling Roach trash. What is Jamel Herring then? I'm telling you, how you gonna call Lamar Roach trash, man? Lamar Roach, it's a world champion, man. Come on now. This is what social media has turned into, that we call world champions trash. Reigning world champions. Come on. Derek, these Tank fans weird. I mean, like I said, man, Lamar Roach, he can fight. And look, I'm going to tell you like this. If you've been in my previous lives, then you already know I got Lamar Roach winning the rematch. How about that? And he's going to be the underdog, so I'll put a little money on that just in case, But I got Lamar Roach winning the rematch. You know why? Because I got him winning the first fight. To me, Lamar Roach won the first fight. Simple as that. Even without the knockdown, even without the knee that they didn't do the point deduction like they were supposed to, I still got Lamar Roach winning that fight. Jay Jones, people forget Crawford won at Pacquiao 5 years ago, and Bob Arrow would not let it happen. Nah, my brother, let me correct you on that. When Bob Arum knew that Manny Pacquiao was going to leave Top Rank, he tried to get him to fight Crawford. You don't remember Pacquiao left to PBC for a minute? He left because of that. Bob Arum was trying to pressure him to fight Crawford so that he could pass the torch and retire. Manny Pacquiao wasn't hearing it, so that's why he left Top Rank to avoid fighting Crawford. Derek, think we're going to see a Tank that doesn't solely rely on his power to win the fight this next fight. Can't afford to lose so many rounds waiting for the KO with Lamar. So you're 100% right about that, my brother. Tank Davis is notoriously known for losing early rounds. He's done that in a lot of his fights. And he did that in this one. If you look at the first round, Tank Davis lost at least 3 of the first 4 rounds versus Lamar Roach. At least 3 of the first 4. So he ended up having to play catch up. When the stoppage didn't come, if you guys recall, by round number 5, round number 6, you started to see Tank Davis get a little bit more aggressive and throwing like hard punches. But Lamar Roach was making a miss even at point blank range. And you could see the sense of urgency from Tank Davis, and he just couldn't do it. Lamar Roach just had the perfect game plan, and he was executing, making a miss and making him pay. Yo, listen, Tank Davis just didn't know what to do with Lamar Roach on that night. He just didn't know what to do with him. Angry Mexican. Sup? What's the deal, my brother? Bam. What do you think about Tank Davis Lamar Roach rematch? You got Tank Davis winning the rematch. You got him stopping Roach. Does it go the distance? What do you think, my brother? Like I said, man, I got Lamar Roach winning it. That's me. I got Lamar Roach I know Tank Davis is going to make adjustments. I got Tank Davis making his own adjustments just like Lamar. But I came out of that fight feeling like Roach was the better boxer. Came out of that first fight feeling like Roach can outbox Tank. Angry Mexican. Andre versus Caleb Plant. Who you like in that fight? Ooh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. You know, Caleb Plant and Boo Boo Andre, both of them are high-level fighters. And honestly, man, it's hard for me to say it. Hard for me to say it. I know that's a very good fight, very competitive fight. Right now, I don't know, bro. I'm being honest with you. I hadn't even thought of that. Caleb Plant, Boo Boo Andre. Who wins that fight? Listen, with the styles that they have, I think it would be a great fight. Very competitive. They both have, land big shots on each other. These are guys who will go out in their shield. But I don't know, man. I can't pick, my brother. My bad, but I just can't pick. Very good fight, very competitive fight. That's all I can say about that one. But I digress away from Canelo versus Crawford. Like I told y'all, Crawford gonna beat that ass. Told y'all. Crawford's gonna put it on my peoples. Angry Mexican. Tank beats Roach, and I think Pac-Man does the unthinkable and beats Barrios. Tank coming up to cherry pick. Or you think Tank will move up to cherry pick Pac-Man? I mean, I'm going to tell you what. If Manny Pacquiao does the unthinkable and beats Mario Barrios, everybody's going to want in on the Manny Pacquiao sweepstake. Everybody. You already see Rollies. Rollies is saying that he would like to fight Manny Pacquiao. And Tank has said that he would like to fight Pacquiao. Everybody. Because you know that Pacquiao doesn't just represent a huge payday, but he's going to put you on a huge stage. He's going to put you on the biggest stage that you've been in. For most fighters, they've never faced someone with that kind of star power. Manny Pacquiao is going to put you in a different stage. So, if he beats Mario Barrios, I promise you, everybody's going to come calling. Of course, Jermall Boost Ennis is going to come calling because he's trying to become undisputed in the division. Now, does Manny Pacquiao win that fight and retire right away as a champion? I don't know. You know, fighters always want to keep coming back. And I tell you what, if Manny Pacquiao wins like convincingly, like puts a beating on Barrios, he'll fight again after that and defend the title. If he edges it out like a split decision, like he took a lot of punishment, he dished out a lot of punishment, it was a crazy fight. If that happens, then I see him retiring, like retiring. And of course, if he gets beat up out there, he's not gonna fight again. Angry Mexican, time will come up for the old man, just not the prime young elite fighters. What can I tell you, my brother? What can I tell you? Derek, yo, Jay Smith, what you think about Jermaine? Jermall. Yo, Jermall looked real good, my brother. You know, after so much inactivity, he had not been in the ring since 2023. To step back in and look so sharp, his timing looked real good. Footwork, counter punching, body punching. We saw everything. You know, he pulled out everything from the bag of tools. So, you know, I'm impressed. I will say, you know, Charlo beat a lower level opponent. So we also have to accept that part. You know, it's not like he beat somebody that's amongst the elite. But with 2 years of inactivity, he looked good. So I'm impressed. Salute to Jamal Charlo. Did his thing. Hash Bass, Jay Smith. What I told you in the chat about Plant Lack Heart. I don't remember exactly what you said, but nothing about that fight said that he lacks heart. Losing doesn't say that you lack heart, brother. You confused. Plant took a nasty shot, almost got dropped, never really recovered, and fought the whole fight. Never ran, never relied on clinching, fought back, threw punches throughout the whole fight, even though he was hurt. If anything, my brother, on Saturday, Plant showed that he got heart. He would have gone down on his shield rather than quit or take a knee or tell his corner to stop it. Bro, after he got hurt, he was getting beat up out there and still went the distance. He showed that, if anything, he showed that he got heart. He showed you wrong, proved you wrong. Derek, bunch of typos, my fault. Don't worry about it, my brother. Jay Jones, I don't want to see Pac-Man get hurt. I know it happens to the best. So, I'm one of the people who don't like to see it. I don't like to see, you know, fighters come back for real fights, you know, doing exhibitions to make money. I don't have an issue with that. But for real fights, competitive, where you're trying to hurt each other, I don't like guys in their mid-40s coming back. But also, if a fighter has decided to come back, then I'll respect that decision. Because only he knows his own physical condition. We know that Father Time is undefeated, but we've seen Bernard Hopkins, we've seen George Foreman, and we've seen others win titles in their 40s. So, can Manny Pacquiao make history? Well, he's made history before. When he fought Keith Thurman, he became the oldest welterweight champion in history. So, Manny Pacquiao is not new to making history. He's been doing it. Been throughout his entire career. So, if he decides to come back and he feels like he can do it, I respect him. And now I want to see how the fight plays out. I'm rooting for him. But he's fighting a young, strong opponent who wants to make a name for himself. Because Barrios, you know, he's a champion and people know him. But he's not like a big star in boxing. He doesn't have like a big win that you can say, oh my God, Barrios. If he beat Manny Pacquiao, even though Manny Pacquiao is the age that he is, Mario Barrios' stock is going to go up. It matter. If Charlo fight Plant and wins, who does he fight next? Berlanga, Canelo, etc. I think that they want the possibility of fighting Canelo. Because you know Canelo already fought Jamal Charlo, who had to move up multiple divisions to fight him. And now, Jamal Charlo is somebody who's right there with him. So, I think that's what they want to do. But, is it going to happen? I don't know what Canelo does after Crawford beats him. I don't think Canelo's going to retire on a loss. I think, in fact, don't be surprised if there's a rematch clause, because Canelo is the undisputed champion. There is going to be a rematch clause. I'm sure Canelo's going to have a rematch clause. So when Crawford whooped that ass, there's going to be a rematch. Canelo versus Crawford 2. Bam! There you have it, my peoples. I'm the first one to tell you that's going to happen. That's why I'm Jay Stradamus. But I think Charlo, if he beats Caleb Plant, or if he fights him and beats him, then he should pursue a fight with Canelo. Hash Bash. Charlo was strong and showed us his levels to it. He should be better and also showed ring rust. Yo, he looked good. He looked good. He looked sharp. You know, the way that he fought, I thought that he was going to be a little bit or less active. I didn't think we was going to see so much activity, especially early on. I thought it was going to take more time for him to get going. And, yo, he was letting them hands fly. More Charlo went there on a mission to... And I also said, you know, the way that he performed, it put pressure on Caleb Plant to go out there and look good. I don't know if that's part of him making a mistake and getting hit with a huge shot that changed everything. Derek, what do you think we see so many fighters go inactive for mad long after a loss? Andre, Jermall, Thurman, just to name a few. Well, I don't think it's always going to be for the same reason. I think that some fighters... I'll tell you some of the reasons that I know about, right? That could, you know, you could put that on any fighter. Nobody specific. Some fighters lose a fight and they get hurt real bad, physically. So it takes months to heal physically, but then once they're there, you know, gained a lot of weight maybe and got really out of shape, and, you know, a process of losing weight to go into training camp. So it could take a year or more from the time that they take to just heal the body and heal emotionally from that loss till the time that it'll take for them to get in physical condition and back to training camp. That's one scenario. Another scenario is guys just have a hard time getting a fight because of whatever situation may be going with their promotional company. So, as you know, the Charlos are with PBC. There's a lot of fighters on the PBC rosters who's been inactive. And as you know, they went to Amazon Prime, and there's not a whole lot of cards on Amazon Prime. So, there's not a lot of opportunities for people to be fighting, for people to stay active. And that causes inactivity. And then also, fighters who are in a situation where they were expected to win a fight to set up for another big fight, and they get beat. And now it takes a really long time for them to... Because when your stock drops, and you got to drop down to now fighting guys of a lower level and for less money, people also go into inactivity. You know, they want to see if they could get a fight. You know, let's say you made $200,000 for a fight, and you got pummeled. And now you look at them try to make, another 200K, but guess what? After you got pummeled, they offering you 20, 25, 30. You made 200, and they offering you $40,000 for a fight. After you made, so that happens to fighters declining fights because they think they're gonna get a better offer, and they stay inactive, and you don't even realize, because they don't tell us this, but you don't realize that this guy turned down a fight here, turned down a fight there, turned down a fight. Let me give you an example. Look at Errol Spence. At this point, he's been inactive for 2 years, or it's about to be 2 years, I think. And part of that inactivity is because he chose not to. He was actually lined up to fight Fundora for his title, and he said, nope, I'm not taking that fight. Chose not to take it. So in the case of Errol Spence, he basically took a nasty beating and decided to take some time off. In the case of Lomachenko, he's been fighting, he's been real active, then he's went to the war in his country, came back, mentally drained, in his mid-30s, decided that he wanted to take a break. Although Lomachenko's not coming off of a loss. He's actually a world champion. Imada, did you see the interview with Crawford and Shannon Sharp, and how Crawford was saying that Mexican Hispanic fans support each other and the black fans bring each other down in the ring? Is that true? To be honest, my brother, I gotta say it is true. It is true what Crawford's saying. And I think the reason he's saying that is because what happened with him and Errol Spence. You see how the African American fan base who support Errol Spence went completely against Crawford. Like, it's cool you're rooting for your guy and say my guy's gonna beat your guy up. But to a level of disrespect, to a level of you ain't shit, he's a hype job, who he be, to a level of discrediting him and disrespecting him. And like that's what he means by that. So when you look at the Hispanic fan base, if these two guys are fighting, they're rooting for this guy, but they don't knock that guy over there. They show love to that guy even right after the fight. It's like they both your guys. But with the African American fan base, you see more criticism of fighters simply because they're with that promotional companies. You see it. Matter of fact, you see it with Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson, if you look at his haters, Tank Davis fans, the majority of Tank Davis fans are African American fans. And they hate Shakur Stevenson simply because he's an opponent who's a threat to Tank. So I understand what Crawford's saying by that, and it's true. It's true. Listen, that's a conversation that we can have a whole podcast about that conversation, because it's a cultural thing. It's about culture. Like, I saw a video, and it was a professional athlete that posted it. And he said, look at the difference. He moved into a Hispanic community from a black community because he's black. And he said, you know why I moved from my black community where I was from? Because of this. Look at this. And he shows you where he lives. It's like almost everybody there is, Mexican, Dominican, Puerto Ricans, mostly Hispanics in that community. And he says, look at the difference between the community where I come from and this community right here. The Mexican dudes over there, they brought some friends from Mexico legally, and some friends that used to live in New York who moved out here, rented them a house, helped them get a job. Now they all got money. Then look at the Dominicans over there. They brought family and friends who now bought some other houses over there. And now so there's a community of people here who keep putting each other on to make money, and they all blowing up. So you see, The Mexicans got their business who do business with the Dominicans, the other guys over there, the Puerto Ricans, they doing business with the Ecuadorians. So it's like he says other communities, other Hispanics, they mix with each other and they make money with each other. The community where I'm from, when I put up a business, that's it. I got the niggas that's trying to rob me, the niggas that's trying to jump me, the niggas that's trying to extort me and take my money from me. So they're like, yo, how my business gonna blow up? Everybody, instead of wanting to get put on, these niggas want to rob me. So you don't see the same type of support. And that's why Canelo became the face of boxing. Because Mexican fans support him, win, lose, or draw, no matter what. Look when he got his ass kicked versus Dimitri Bivol. Bivol made Canelo look bad, bro. Bivol made Canelo look bad. Guess what? The Mexican community didn't turn their back on him. They didn't say, oh, he washed up, he's cooked, he's done, he a hype job. Nah, that's still their guy. Why you think Canelo does monster pay-per-view numbers in an era where people streaming fights, stealing the pay-per-views? Why Canelo still do numbers? Because people support his ass, so they buy his fights anyway. Yo, that's what you call hardcore support. When a motherfucker got a fire stick, but he'll still buy the pay-per-view because you Canelo Alvarez and he want to support you. That's how they be doing it. That's how they be doing it, bro. Derek, yeah, just look at the way they treat Bud after the Spence fight, or even before, or the Tank fight. Always diminish the fights. Canelo losses to Bivol and Latino still rocking with him. That's what I'm saying. When Canelo lost, yo, he didn't lose no support. Everybody was still rocking with him the same way. Jay Jones, you're 100% correct about support. Derek, Mexicans for the most part will support a fighter that stands on business regardless of race, in my opinion. I have my family going for Triple G in the first two Canelo fights. No. So listen. Because Mexicans are, I will categorize them as hardcore fight fans. So they support, especially fighters who stand in the ring and go toe-to-toe, blow for blow, and trade leather. Mexicans are going to support you. They don't like fighters who move around. Like Shakur Stevenson, he don't have a big Mexican fan base because of his style of boxing. Mexicans support guys who will bang it out. So I agree with you. But if two Mexican fighters are fighting, when they, one win, one lose, when that fight is over, Mexicans support both of them. Both of those guys are going to get support because they're both their guy. When Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence fought, you saw the divide between the people who support Bud and the people who support Errol. You saw the division. JJ's in the house. Hello, Jay Smith. I'm here. Let's go. It's called Mexican style. You know it. That Mexican style. And let me tell y'all something funny since we're talking about Mexican styles. Guess what? Outside of Americans, the most world champions right now, Mexico. They have 7 world champions right now. Mexico has the most world champions outside of American. Think about that. That's how good Mexican boxing is. And you know who's in third place with 3 world champions? Dominican Republic. Dominican Republic is in third place. I'm talking about the Hispanic countries. I think this is only references Hispanic countries. I'm not sure, but I think so. But Mexico has 7 world champions. So you see it. Mexico, historically, they have been producing champions. But the Mexican fan base, they're very loyal. And they support their fighters. The support from them is unreal. Unreal. That's why I still remember when Eric Morales and Marco Antonio Barrios fought each other. The first one, well, all three was, like a fight of the year type of fight. The first time they fought each other, I remember and they hated each other. They hated each other. And after that first fight, you could see that the Mexican fan base is like they all won. It wasn't about, fuck yeah, your guy won, but he cheated and whatever, like that hate that you see between Crawford and Spence fans, you didn't see it between Barrera and Morales fans. You saw that everybody was happy that they got such a huge showdown. So, yeah, my peoples. JJ's in the house. I like all fighters because I like boxing. I agree with you, my brother. The sport of boxing, the sweet science, is what we love. At the end of the day, if you get in the ring, it takes two to tango. It takes two to tango. If you get in the ring, and I know what it is to be in the ring. I've been in there myself. And I could tell you, man, sometimes when you've been in the ring, sometimes you have a very different perspective from people who haven't been in the ring for that reason, because you've been there. So sometimes you hear people say, oh, this guy's trash, that guy's trash. And you're like, you've been there, you know that guy's not trash. Because you see little things that it's not everybody who could do those things. Whether it's that quick pullback counter, or that sidestep, or that counter punch that he doesn't even see it coming. Little things, and you're like, yeah, this guy's on another level. So boxing is a sport that, in my opinion, is the best sport in the world. It's the most primitive sport that there is, the most aggressive. I don't know if it's the most primitive, but I know for a fact that they was boxing before boxing as a sport was even invented. You could see, in stones, they carved people like this, duking it out. So people duking it out is the most, we could say, not the most, I don't want to say barbaric, because it is barbaric, but one of the most entertaining and one of the most brutal sports. You see, people die in the sport of boxing. Like 14, 15 people die every year in the sport of boxing, which is sad news, and why I'm okay when there's a stoppage. Like this guy that Charlo was beating up, I'm okay that they stopped that fight. Stop it. You could see that he was being not just outworked, he was being beat up. He was outmatched. So all he was going to do is allow his toughness to make him take a beating. Because that guy, he wasn't going to take a knee. He wasn't going to quit. He was upset when the ref stopped it. He wasn't going to quit. He was going to keep fighting back, but get pummeled in the process of doing so. Derek, 100% JJ's in their house. All these guys putting their lives on the line. That's real talk, my brother. Every time you step in the ring, your life is on the line. It's that serious. Takes one punch to change your whole life around for the worse. So we got to respect it. We got to respect these fighters. My peoples, I'm about to end this live. As always, before I do, I want to give a shout out to everybody who came through. Imada, Derek, JJ Zendejas, my brother Hash Bass, Jay Jones, and everybody else who came through, my peoples. I really appreciate y'all. Angry Mexican, salute y'all. Y'all already know what it is, my peoples. Tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to be live. We're going to be talking boxing. Lots of good fights coming up. We got to talk about it. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. And by the way, my peoples, I uploaded some videos this weekend. I was calling these fights. I hope you have seen some of those videos that I uploaded. I got a video that I'm going to be uploading in about 10 minutes. Look out for a new video that I'm going to be uploading. That Charlo fight, I was calling it live. So I'm uploading a video that's showing some of the commentary. Yo, that commentary, if you see me do commentary, you know how I do it, my peoples. I did not let you down for that Charlo fight. I did what I does. Check out that video. It's going to be up in like 10 minutes, my peoples. Salute to everybody. One love. I'm Jay Smith. This is Box Center, your favorite boxers. Favorite boxing show. I'm out of here, my peoples. One love to everybody. I appreciate y'all. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe and share these videos. Box Center is going to be the #1 boxing channel on YouTube. Matter of fact, this is going to be the #1 boxing channel in the universe, the galaxy, the universe. Even the aliens don't have a channel, a boxing channel like this one. JJ said that has his 4 in the morning in California. Golly, my brother, you a real one. At 4 in the morning, you up watching Box Center. You a real one, my brother. One love. My peoples, I'm out of here. Y'all already know, man. Enjoy the rest of your day. Happy Monday.